Okay. Chemicals. How can I arrange H2O to where it's toxic? Okay. H2O is water, right?
Yes.
Okay. How can I arrange that H2O
Add another oxygen.
right? So you add another what, Calhoun?
If you add another oxygen, it changes everything.
So instead of it being H2O, what would it be?
H2O2, O2.
H2O2 forms hydrogen peroxide. Can you drink hydrogen peroxide? No. But can I use it to debrine, DEBRINE, my mouth? Like when you go to the dentist and they put that stuff in, it's called debrining because what the peroxide, the hydrogen peroxide is doing is it's eliminating the oxygen in your mouth. That's what's causing the bubbles. It's dissolving the oxygen in the mouth so bacteria can't grow. Bacteria grows in the mouth because there's an abundance of fluid, hydrogen, and oxygen in there. When you take hydrogen peroxide, what's Kahun Uncle? When we say perox, P-E-R, not the oxide, but the per means what?
It's the amount of oxides.
The amount. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's telling you the amount in the chemical formula.
And what would that be in peroxide?
I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. Per
highest oxidation state of a particular element in a compound. It signifies the presence of a peroxyl group. This means it's the highest element possible positive oxidation. That's why we say to eliminate the bacterial growth in the mouth, the dentist gives you hydrogen peroxide. If you have it at home, you take a little bit, mix it with some water. Don't swallow it. Do not swallow it. All right, because no, okay, but it's in the mouth. You let it soak, and you'll feel. Then they even put it in the toothpaste. You buy toothpaste, sometimes it says peroxide. That's what this is. It's a different formula. So you just took the same letters H and O and 2, and you arranged it different because you added instead of
1 oxygen.
You made it 2, and that extra changes it from being able to be drunk to now being still in liquid form, still in the state of liquid.
Yes, sir.
But it's a liquid that's doing what? It's corrosive.
Yeah.
Water is not corrosive internally, but water is corrosive metal. What's in the teeth?
Calcium.
Enamel. Enamel is what type of, your teeth are made out of what element?
calcium and phosphorus.
Calcium and phosphorus. What is enamel?
The outer coating.
Glazing, yeah, the
Okay,
outer
too.
coating.
Outer coating made of what?
Calcium.
Is an outer coating made of what?
In Hummel.
Composed of minerals with hydro
Crystal.
oxyapatite, a crystalline calcium phosphate. So it's as Calhoun Uncle Sarah said, a calcium phosphate, but it's crystallized. And thus it contains what? A small percentage of water and organic material. It is the hardest substance in the human body, providing a protective barrier for the underlying dentine and the pulp. When they pull a tooth out, that thing that's left under there. Now, why would that be important? You're putting acids in the mouth, and you're chewing these acids. And so if this enamel wasn't there, what would happen?
Your teeth would
Your
corrode.
teeth would corrode, cavities would set in, and you'd die. So nature, in the form of naturu, the African guardians who are nature personified, puts these chemical formulas in different sequences to bring about a different result. We used to possess that knowledge. Grandma and them knew what to mix. They were mixologists. They could mix this, not just in the kitchen, they were mixing stuff for herbs. You had different people that make a certain herb, and people would come to the house, and your grandmother be, here you go. And they'd be like, Grandma, what's that? I'm going to teach you one day when you get older.
Yeah.
We had science, we had mathematics, we had chemistry to know how much to mix. That's what it's talking about. Does that happen in cooking?
Yes, it does.
Too much salt? Oof.
Salty.
Too little? Oof. So that's a formula. And how you arrange that formula can make the difference between curry versus jerk versus stew versus okra versus each of these has a formula. When you mix okra with this onion, with this garlic, with this, you're creating this compound that will release these elements that can lead to these gases. What happens when we eat the wrong food combination? Oh man, I got gas, man. It's like, oh my God, I feel like it's just coming. Ooh, I got heartburn. What did we just do? We put too many acidic foods together, and so they're going. Or sometimes we put too many emulsifying or fluids that are supposed to calm the stomach, and then they activate because there's too many of them, and they are weak. Some of y'all are in a wash, and it says this is strong. I know Sister Azani's one of the people who always ask me, okay, how do you know when you're like, so it says you're weak towards something, and then you're strong towards something. This is what it's talking about. Yeah. Each of you here are a chemical formula. Some of you, or some of us, myself included, are weak against this type of man or woman. And I don't mean like sex. I just mean polarity, right? Polarity. They can talk to you about, oh man, okay, cool, I believe you. Yeah. And then others, you're like, hell no, I don't believe nothing you say. So you're strong against this person, but you're weak against this type of personality. It can be your child. Some of us are one child just have you like, you be like, ooh, I can't stop. Hey, I know what you're doing to me. I'm gonna say this one more time. And you realize that kid's like, I got you. Got you. Understood? That's all it's. All right. Yeah. All right, I'll take one online, Elder Owen, and then I'll come back to the room.
Pastor Matzes, thank you so much for allowing me to question. Matzes, I really want to give, this wasn't a question I was going to raise, but this is a living example, a live example of how our doctrine and what we're learning is making our lives better. Earlier, you spoke about knowledge leading to liberation and ignorance leading to bondage. As you and Sister Amani Nia was talking about this benzene, and you started to look up formaldehyde, and a thought just came to me because I would wake up in the mornings, most mornings, with a headache and severe neck pain.
That's right.
And I said, is this benzene in pillows?
Yes.
And so while you were talking, I Googled it, and I saw where formaldehyde and benzene are in pillows and how it affects the brain and getting these headaches. And I was like, this is liberation doctrine right here, because that knowledge is now going to allow me to change the type of pillows I sleep on.
That's right.
And go back to the natural pillows.
But when they keep us in poverty, what's the only pillow we can afford?
$4.99 cheap pillows.
Understand? And so we think we saving.
Sure.
But I used to have natural pillows before I went to Jamaica. I got rid of them, gave them some family.
Your pillows, your comforter, your bed sheets, your shampoos. Listen. I mean, why is the original books of the Bible necessary? Because it invokes this conversation. And it's not just helping me or helping Elder Owen, it's helping all of us. Because that's what leads to liberation.
I mean, very, very practical, not a miracle, not praying to God to take these headaches away. Just change the pillows.
But that's the true miracle. True miracles are science. That's why we say a true religious man must be a scientist, and a true scientist must be a religious man. We don't separate divinity from physical or from manifestation. We are divinity in flesh, a portion of creator, not creator. We can co-create because creator gave us a portion to utilize in that process. Go ahead, my elder.
So I just sent my wife a text saying K over I is equal to L over B. Get rid of those pillars and we'll get some natural pillars.
All right.
Now, my first question, boss,
On Wednesday, we know something happened, right? K, K over I equals C over back. Okay, go ahead.
black over I. Says, when you were speaking to the brother about, I think it was Brother Jermaine, he was talking about this virus.
Yes.
Is red cell web the antivirus?
When it's applied,
Okay.
That you see what just happened? The
Yes.
lyric means just saying yes. And then we go, yeah. But it has to be
applied.
Why?
There has to be a gestational period. It has to be
yes,
worked.
it has to be seeded.
Right.
Russell, what? I'm free. No. What is it? Religion, economic. Everybody can say, okay, there was a time you couldn't remember the order. Now we can say the order. But what liberation of your religion? How?
Right. To stop it from ghost worship.
But how?
Action.
Knowledge.
Okay. Knowledge where?
Being taught.
Books of the Bible.
Into the books of the Bible, our scripture, our way of life.
No. There's a book called Are You Slave Mind, Student Mind, or God Mind? To become Niter 10, you must read that and let it master you and change you.
That's the manual.
It's like me saying, how do you run the computer? You just turn it on. And then what you do? Just let it run. No, you got to learn each app. So in the Slave Mind book, it tells us how to overcome. And that's why it's right on the screen. I couldn't have done this. It's here. It tells us the steps that we're going to have to take, how they attacked us religiously, how did they attack us economically, what were the steps. This is what this series will be looking at and verifying so that we can be prepared for you must step from ghost worship and be born again. Understand? Now, we took baptisms, didn't we?
Yes.
And that's a necessary step. But were we born again?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was called an initiation. When you're born again, that's the Awas, the Nazarite Society. That's that initiation. That's born again. Born again, you can't be born again and still be the same person. No, you can be initiated into a school. You enter as who you are. That's an initiation. Once you're in the school and you go through the courses and study and the questions and the tests, then you get to a point and you graduate. That you've been reborn. Now you're no longer neophyte. You're no longer student. You're no longer initiate. You're now initiated. Do y'all understand? That's the order of Melchizedek spoken of in the book of Hebrews 5 and 7. That's the Nazarene society spoken of in number 6, the Essenes, the Ansari. That's this doctrine. Are we clear? Go ahead, Elder. I just want to make sure everybody's clear with what the agenda here is. Because we say liberation, that's a big word, liberation. We got work to do. Go ahead, Elder. Elder Owen.
Pastor, just now you gave us slave mind. I wrote down here as a liberation manual is what I wrote down. It may not be the right terminology, but that's how I wrote it.
Yeah.
Are you saying each one of those 9 levels of people activity, there is a manual that we can read to learn how to break the virus of that particular people activity?
I'm not just saying it. There is a read, I think you all in critical theology about 2 books away, called Hawadiyuna, the disciplined ones.
Yes.
It says you've been baptized, now what? You must do this, you must do that, and then you have to study this, you have to study that. I thought of sharing, right? Hawadiyuna is the precursor to the slave mind. The slave mind is the result of the Hawadiyuna. Okay, let me make it relevant to what we just said today. Knowledge, liberator. Which one's the knowledge? Hawadiyuna. Which one's the liberator? Slave mind.
Slave mind.
Let's test the theory, because when I'm writing, people, they don't understand how I've been trained to write. So they be thinking it's just random. I'm like, no, not. All right. So here it says, you've been baptized, so you come, bop, 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 bop. And then what's the purpose of this parchment? We're going to get down to baptism and bad habits, and talks about the cryptic rite of baptism. Thus, it is the goal of the Hawadiyuna, which functions as the key stage of developing and strengthening all that have received of the cryptic rite of baptism. So you go through this baptism, and it says, Elder Owen, your question, me and you didn't plan this. And so it is that Atonism, by way of the Holy Coptic Church, advocates that all its adherents do all within our power to always be straightforward and disciplined, whereby being able to be changed for the better, for the sake of progressing along life's path. Remember, completing every aspect of Rel Sol Web is key towards achieving victory in the global liberation of the Nubian Melaninite family. All aspects. And those who shall achieve this victory are who those that are disciplined, organized, and work for of and by each other, have a plan and practice